name is Michael Majette, and I've been at Spero Dei for just about a year and a half. My wife, me, and my daughter. And we came here through some friends of ours who we'd also had other fellowships that we were part of with. And the thing that I was initially drawn to, and I noticed, was that folks here were very open, very welcoming, and not just welcoming of me as a person, but also me as somebody who had questions and who was seeking truth. And that's very important to me, always has been. And I've always been one to kind of question. I've never just always gone along with what you say. Even if I did, I was still questioning inside. So it's neat to be able to come out, I guess you could say, as somebody who is questioning. And the thing that I think I would find that I would wish you is that you would find the same thing, that you would be able to find a place where you're able to ask questions and seek for the answers with folks who also want truth. And they want to pursue that, and they don't see truth as necessarily an endpoint, but a journey. And if that's you, I hope that you find that, and maybe you'll find that here. And if so, welcome to Spero Dei.
Fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup. I've been walking to a city. I've been walking to a city. I've been walking to a city I cannot see. Walking through the darkness, walking through the valleys. I'm tired and I'm lonely, and it's hard to keep believing that I'm walking to a city I cannot see. So fill my cup, Lord, run it over. Give me love, give me joy, give me peace. Fill my cup, Lord, and run it over. 'Cause I am your child in need. I am your child in need. Ooh, 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 ooh. Make friends with my choices. I've been looking for the doctor, and I've been looking for the desert, and I've been looking for the sugar. I want to fill my cup, Lord, and run it over. Give me love, give me joy, give me peace. Fill my cup, Lord, and run it over. 'Cause I am your child in need. I am your child in need. Oh, 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 oh. I've been walking to the city. I've been walking to a city. I've been walking to a city I cannot see. So fill my cup, Lord, and run it over. Give me love, give me joy, give me peace. Oh, fill my cup, Lord, and run it over. 'Cause I am your child in need. I am your child in need. Oh, 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 oh. my cup, Lord. Fill my cup. Fill my cup, Lord.
Hey, Spero Dei, and I want to welcome you to our digital experience online. And if you are watching today or wherever you are, I'm just so thankful. And I know that some of you are watching in other cities. I know some of you are watching in other states. There's folks who are watching in Illinois and California. There's folks up in Boston, Massachusetts who are watching. We even have folks in other countries that are watching. I know we have some Canadian viewers. So I just want to welcome you wherever you are watching from. Spero Dei is such a rare thing. We are the kind of church that is talking about a new kind of Christianity, a Christianity that is much more open, much more flexible for the 21st century. We're reimagining a new kind of Christianity. So I'm grateful that you found us. You know, a couple weeks ago, I sat down with author and minister Colby Martin, and Colby's latest book is called The Shift. And what Colby's book is about is going through a faith shift. And if you have gone through a faith shift, or you suddenly find yourself in a faith shift, you are moving from conservative Christianity because it's no longer working for you, and you're curious about, or you're open to, or you're moving towards a more open and flexible and evolving Christianity, Colby's book will be perfect for you. I wish I had a book like this 10 plus years ago when I was going through this. Colby's extremely articulate. He's immensely humble about his own journey. It's humorous, it's real, it's authentic. The book has been recommended by Jen Hatmaker, by Glennon Doyle, by Brian McLaren. And so a little bit ago, I sat down with Colby via Zoom, and we talked about this new book. Take a look. Well, Colby, I appreciate you spending time with me, and I just finished your book, Shift.
Oh, good, because I would have waited if you wanted to finish it real quick.
What's yeah?
But you're done, so
one
good.
chapter I have to finish. Let me.
Go ahead, go on. I'll wait.
yeah. And then, of course, this great book. But here's what I love about the book. Shift. I go, when I was reading this, I go, man, Colby is covering everything here. Almost, I wish I had this book 10 years ago, but I love it. You kind of cover faith, trust, and certainty. You have this great chapter on tools for surviving a faith shift, which is great. And then you don't shy away from the biggies. You go after who is God, who is Jesus, what is the Bible.
I don't know if I should have done it, but yes, I did.
Yes. And I'm going, oh my gosh, and the book's not even half done.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. This was really good. It's great to be with you, Pastor David. Do you go by David or Dave or David?
David. Yeah,
David.
I've never been a Dave.
No, I respect that.
And I don't go by Pastor. Yeah, just David. Yeah, David.
All right, Lord David is what we've landed on. Okay, good.
Oh, David is good.
And the rest of the Spero Dei community, hi. So good to be with you. I'm out here in San Diego, and I hear that they called Nashville the San Diego of the middle of the country. So yeah, so well done.
Is that right? I've never heard that.
I made that up on the spot.
Okay.
It's just, they're both good cities.
So you and I didn't have a book like this.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me about Shift. Why did you write the book?
So why did I write the book? I wrote the book, I said it a minute ago, to try to normalize for people, first of all, that, yeah, the fact that you feel lonely isn't because you're doing it wrong. It's just, this is a lonely journey. The fact that you are struggling with a lot of anger and resentment towards your previous maybe family of origin or previous church community, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It's just, that makes a lot of sense. Of course you would be resentful and bitter and angry. The fact that you are constantly sort of feeling at war with yourself because there's part of you that really wants to maybe get curious and go down these paths and ask these questions and maybe toy around with some of these new spiritual practices. And yet there's this old part of you that immediately comes online, says, no, you can't. That's scary. That threatens your standing with God. Like those sort of, what I noticed is that we were all in our own ways experiencing versions of that. And if there's any way that I could help normalize it for people and then help them have a little bit of, here's something that might help when that comes. When you come to that obstacle, which you're going to face if you haven't yet, this might help you get through it in a way where you're maybe less burned on the other side. So I think that's kind of why I wrote it, to normalize this journey and to help people with a little bit of some handholds as they go through it.
What is it you hope they experience in reading the book?
Yeah. But I hope that people feel a little less alone, just to be like, oh yeah, there are other people that have gone through this shift, or going through it at the same time. And like I said a minute ago, you're not doing it wrong. It's just, this is how this unfolds. And I hope I give them some permission to keep going, to not bail. And if they need to bail, that's fine. By the way, if anybody needs to, if they start going down this path towards what I call progressive Christianity, and it just gets too scary, too hard, too fast, and they need to hit pause, or they may even need to retreat a little bit. Like, look, I have looked at my life and the trajectory that I've gone on, and I have just come to the conclusion that I had very little to do with it. I had at some point along the way, I just throw my hands up and be like, grace, I don't know. Yeah. Spirit was with me, was ahead of me, calling me forward, was behind me, pushing me ahead. I don't understand my journey. So why would I presume that someone else's journey, like I would have any sort of say over or influence over? So if they need to go backward, that's fine. But permission to keep going if you want. And then I think also just this sort of pastoral hug.
But talk a little more. A moment ago, you mentioned the word permission. And I think this is an idea that isn't talked about enough, or this feeling, this collide with this lack of permission we don't give ourselves. Could you talk a little more about that experience?
Sure.
Of permission?
Yeah. For those of us who have a background in some version of Christian fundamentalism or even just evangelical context, we were within a system of expectation around what you could sort of behave and believe. And it was just sort of a top-down hierarchy of, here's what it means to be a Christian, which is really, what they're really saying is, here's what it means to be an evangelical Christian. And they've just decided that they've sort of got the monopoly on it, which I don't even mean to other them that much, because I think we all can find ourselves, like, all sort of major branches of Christianity, I imagine, would think theirs is the best. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be in it anymore. But there's this expectation of, here's what you believe, and here's how you behave. And if you violate either of these, then you are outside the flock. We'll take away your credentials as an evangelical. And so but it goes even deeper than that, David, because it's not just you're outside of the fold. It's your very status with God is in jeopardy if you cease to believe these things or cease to behave within these parameters. And this is the thing that if something's going to get me worked up and fired up, it's going to be the insistence that what God cares most, what the creator of everything cares most about, is what you and I think. Like, think about that for a minute. We have somehow decided that the thing that matters most to God are ideas, are beliefs that we hold. was finding that alignment, finding whatever the outcome was. So for me, and I referenced it a minute ago, for me, I was in a context where externally I was a worship and arts pastor at a large evangelical megachurch, and things were going well, and I sort of had to fall in line with this evangelical setup. But internally, I had shifted quite a ways from the Baptist theology that I had been trained in, and it was starting to take its toll on me. So I had to. What was important to me was getting my internal world, my external world aligned, regardless of what that might mean for my life.
But is that something that somebody is there a patient process in that? Can we hop on one foot and twirl around and suddenly make that happen? Talk about that. Because I agree with you, but then there's the journey there, right?
Yes, it is such a great question. Is that something that we can sort of strap on our boots and make happen? And I'll respond to a couple of things that come up right away. First is, I would say most of the time, no. Most of the time, I think what helps people move along towards alignment and finding wholeness is something externally collapsing upon them and sort of forcing their hand to find alignment. In the recovery world, they talk about hitting rock bottom. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom so that you can start putting life back together again.
Yes. And is the bottom yet? Have you?
I know, right? Yeah. So I think that for many, many people, it's almost like, you're going to need some inciting incident to happen to kind of give you the freedom, the space, the possibility. Maybe you have to get fired so that you're no longer paid for what you believe, so that you can practice a new way of believing. But here's why I hesitate as that being my only answer, because I think that is only a product of a climate which asks of people to buy into specific beliefs and behaviors at all costs. This requirement creates a environment of fear and shame. If people were able to reach inside and grab those parts of them that weren't matched up and externalize them and say, this is currently something I'm thinking and feeling. Can we talk about this? If that can be done, you could do it in a therapist's office because you're paying the therapist to not judge you. This is part of why therapy works, is because we can externalize all the things and we receive loving kindness. We receive non-judgmental. This is part of why it helps the healing process. But we can't, for the most part, do that in many religious contexts.
Colby, you wrote this book, Unclobber, talking about what we know in our pastoral ministerial work, the 6 clobber verses. And I love how in this book, in your even chapters, you deal with the theology of it, and in your odd chapters, you deal with the story of it. What would you say? What do you, as this whole shift is happening, this whole evolution in 21st century Christianity is happening, what do you want our LGBTQ brothers and sisters to know? What do you want them to know, embrace, hold on to, let go of?
hope they can hear me when I say how sorry I am. So I hope you hear me when I invite you, if you would like to hear what I'm saying, which is I'm sorry. It's not fair. It's not fair that you were given these messages. It's not fair that you were told this right alongside the moments in your life when you were told things that are true about the world, like 2 + 2 = 4, and the earth rotates around the sun. All these things that you were told is true. Your brain also was told that it's true that gay people are sinners, or that to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex is an abomination. And your sweet little brain would have no way of knowing to hold these two truths differently. It just all got bundled together in this one category of this one box in your brain titled things that are true. And so now you might be 16, you might be 30, you might be 57 years old, and you're still trying to disentangle those early messages. And of course you are, because those were given to you at a young age. And I'm sorry that our religion has so focused on this and has decided that it is the thing that decides whether people are saved or not. I'm so sorry that it's become this hyper focused issue where you've been layered with shame and guilt in ways that you just did not deserve. And I'm sorry. It wasn't okay. It's not okay. You are loved. You are loved just as you are, by me, by David, and I believe there's not the list of things that I stake my flag in the ground and say I believe this about God to be 100% true. That list has grown shorter over the years, but one flag that I will never take out of the ground is I believe that God loves you. You are God's child, just as you are. And I'm sorry that you were ever told anything different.
Well, Colby, thanks for this time. And man, I appreciate the heart and the words you shared. And I can't recommend this book enough.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think anybody going through any kind of faith disorientation, a shift in their faith, anybody that needs permission, anybody that needs to know they're not alone and to be given permission and to know that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
This book is a wonderful book. So thanks for writing it. And like I said, I wish you wrote it 10 years ago, but I know you had to live it. I know had to live it first, but thanks for spending time with Spero Dei, and thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, David. It's been a pleasure.
My suffering doesn't mean my Father's forgotten me. My wandering isn't threatening. My Father sits here with me. My Father sits here with me. And what if broken I'm open. And what if this is what it looks like to receive? Though my journey has been filled with sorrow, what if this is where you wanna meet with me? And what if this is where you show me how to be free? More faithful than my closest friend, you've always been here with me. Love without end, love that defends. You'll always be here with me. I know you'll always be here with me. And what if broken just means I'm open? And what if this is what it looks like to see? Though my journey has been filled with sorrow, what if this is where you wanna meet with me? And what if this is where you show me how to be free? Yeah. Free. I know I won't stay broken, and I won't stay empty. I won't stay broken. I won't stay empty for long, 'cause you fill me up, God. I won't stay broken, no. I won't stay empty for long, 'cause you build me up, God. I won't stay broken for long, no. Oh, I won't stay empty for long, 'cause you fill me up, God. I won't stay broken for long. I know I won't stay empty for long, 'cause I'm broken and I'm open. And I know this is what it looks like to receive. Even though my journey has been filled with sorrow, I know this is where you want to meet with me. And I know this is where you show me. I know this is where you show me. I know this is where you show me I can be free. Free.
Folks, before we go, I just want to say thank you to those of you who are giving and supporting Spero Dei. As I have mentioned before, Spero Dei is such a unique church, especially within the waves and the seas of American popular Christianity. To have a church that is talking about reimagining and rethinking Christianity is such a rare thing. So the fact that some of you are supporting it, not only do I appreciate it, but you are making the whole thing real. You're allowing Spero Dei to exist. So thank you very much. And we still, as you can imagine, need donations to allow Spero Dei's voice to continue to get out. So if Spero Dei is meaningful to you, if the way we're talking about Christianity makes sense to you, but hits you in a way that you're drawn to who we are, we would only welcome your support and need it. And giving here is really simple. All you have to do is go to our website, sperodei.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there is the word give, and you just click on that, and it will guide you through. It is safe, it is totally secure, and it's really, really easy. So again, to those of you who are being generous and will continue to be generous to us, thank you so much.